Hello students, Sairam. I welcome you all to science class. I hope you all are following chapter very well. You all know we are learning chapter number 13, Fun with Magnets, part 4 of your NCERT science textbook. Till now we have learned many concepts, facts and occurrence of magnets. We have a lot of more to learn. As you go in higher classes, you can know much deeper details of the concepts we are learning now. Let us continue with today's class. Recalling the concepts we learned till now, the first introduction of this chapter is about uses and the purposes of magnets in our daily life. Then we have seen an interesting story of a shepherd named Magnus and about his experience in the discovery of magnets. We now could differentiate between magnetic materials and non-magnetic materials in the previous class we learnt about the two distinct poles of a magnet. Then now we are able to now we know that the two distinct poles of magnets are north pole and the south pole. Then we understood that poles of a magnet are near to the ends of the magnet. By observing and understanding the activity where the iron fillings or iron pins are attracted more towards the two ends of the bar magnet. The magnet does not evenly attract iron fillings all over its surface, but most of the iron fillings are attracted to the poles of the magnet, which are located at the two ends of the bar magnet. Before we proceed to the next concept, we should know that Earth also has poles, North Pole and the South Pole. That means even the planet Earth also behaves like a huge magnet which radiates magnetic field between the poles. This is also one of the reasons why we are all steadily held in one place due to gravity. We will learn more about these concepts in your higher classes. We are saying that magnet has a north pole and a south pole. But how are we able to find which direction is in the north, south, east or in the west? Let's learn that in finding directions using a magnet. We already know the discovery of magnetism was done several years ago, around 600 BC, but the knowledge of magnet was there to the people from much ancient times. Though they could not recognize it as a magnet, but people used to utilize and apply it to their work with the properties of a magnet. Not only one story, but there were several stories of using a magnet in ancient days. Let's learn one more interesting story about the magnet with respect to finding directions. This is a story of an emperor in China and his name was Huang Tai. He had a chariot like you can see in the image here, and the chariots, as we all know that it is usually tied along with the horses. His chariot had a statue of a lady that could rotate in any direction. This statue of a lady is in a position of having an extended arm if it was showing as if it was showing the way or a direction. Another interesting property of this statue is that it usually comes to a rest position where its extended arm always pointed towards the north or south direction. That means, children, here when the statue of that lady when comes to the rest position, its extended arm is always pointed toward the south direction. Through the journey, though it may rotate freely, but once the chariot stopped or comes to the rest position, the position of statue always pointed its arm towards the south direction. Isn't it an interesting fact? This emperor, who used to travel by his chariot, used the help of this statue to locate his direction path. Wherever he went to the new places, once he understood the south direction using the statue, he logically used to locate the other directions also. So, isn't it a very interesting story? By using this fact, they used to travel during the olden days. Why don't we try to make a direction finder for ourselves like the one the emperor had in his chariot? We can also make it. Let's try it. First, we take a bar magnet. As we do not know the directions, let's put a mark on one of its ends for identification purposes so that we do not get confused while understanding this activity. It is easier to differentiate the ends in this way. If we will mark any one end of that, next we will suspend this bar magnet from the wooden stand as I have shown you on the screen with the help of a thread that is tied at the middle of the magnet. balancing the magnet equally, we should be tied in the middle. Next, we will see that the bar magnet is held tight with the help of the thread to the stand and suspended in such a way that it can rotate freely. And after a little movement, here children, let it come to the rest position. Now see that you do not disturb the magnet and be it in a rest position. In this position, by understanding this position of the bar magnet, or in the rest position, here by observing the position of bar magnet, mark 2 points of this bar magnet on the ground or to the stand base. To note its position of its end means correctly locate at their end position on the ground. Here children, when this bar magnet comes to the rest, we will mark 2 endpoints of this bar magnet on the stand or on the ground. Then what we will do, when the magnet is at rest position or magnets comes to the rest, we will join these 2 points on the ground surface. Now we have marked this. Try to draw a straight line between these 2 points. This line will show you the direction of the magnet or the position of its end when the magnets have come to the rest or when it is in the rest position without any movement. Next children, when freely suspended magnet from any object here, so that if you will observe that it is always resting in the position north to south direction. The indication of bar magnet shows this, that the magnet is resting in the position north to south direction. Whenever you see when it comes to the rest position, mostly you observe it towards the north-south direction of the bar magnet. Even children, you can do this or we can try this again and again to rotate the magnet by gently pushing it at one end to any direction and let it freely move, and at one end it will we'll see that it will come to the rest position, and we will see that in the same direction it is coming in at the rest position. Here children, again if we'll see the rest position is same as we have drawn the line. This shows that n number of times if we repeat the same activity, we will see that the magnet is coming at the rest position in the same direction, that is north to south direction. Do you think children the magnet always shows the different direction every time? No. When it comes to the rest position, here it is coming in the same direction. It always comes to the rest position in the same direction. Is it what that the same happened with the statue of Emperor's chariot? Right? It comes to the south pointing direction at rest position. That means knowingly or unknowingly the Emperor's statue in the chariot was behaving like a magnet, or it was a magnet. That statue was made of magnet. Here children, what is the amazing fact that we came to know after learning this activity? We learned that a freely suspended bar magnet will always come to rest in north-south direction. So now we understand why the ends of magnets, that means poles, are named as north and south poles. But students, how do we find the east and the west direction? Like we have a magnet to find north and south direction. With the help of a rising sun, we can predict which is the east direction and the opposite will be the west direction, right? We all know that sun rises in the east. So if you are trying to understand the directions by using magnet which shows the north-south direction, and with the help of the sun, we can understand which direction is east and which one is the west direction. But remember this very carefully. It will help you later on also to find the directions whenever you are standing facing to east or towards the rising sun. When you face towards the direction to the sun, your left hand side always shows the north direction, and here towards the right side the south direction is there. That means children, if you are facing to the sun, your left hand will always point towards the north direction and your right hand shows always south direction. That means children, if you are if you stand facing east, to your left is the north, and children, and to your right is the south. Remember this very carefully. It will help you to easily identify the directions by yourself. But it is not always so accurate to find the directions with respect to the sun. But it will help you to understand the direction of north from south. During early days, the sun was one of the source to find directions for the nomads. But we have now advanced in this to overcome any situation. So there is more to learn about finding directions. Let us learn more about finding directions in the next class. Goodbye children. Thank you.